Dear Matrix friends, today we are privileged to have with us the Australian High Commissioner in Pakistan, Ms. Margaret Adamson. She has just completed her 4 years in Pakistan. I would assume eventful 4 years, and here she is with us, and would like to ask Margaret, first of all, thank you very much for granting us this time at a very short notice. And how would you look back at the 4 years that you have spent here?
I guess the first indicator to me that I was not to expect that it was going to be just a calm posting for one to sit back and observe the developments in this country and in this region. In the meantime, over the last 4 years, we have been living in a very, very lively phase of regional dynamics, indeed in terms of domestic dynamics, and also in terms of global geostrategic dynamics. And the reason that I was so keen to stay was because the elections, of course, would have coincided with my exit had I gone on the neat 3-year period. The elections, of course, brought yet a further phase of Pakistan actually practicing the art of democracy. And as a fellow Commonwealth country, we well understand the dynamics that are in play in a fellow federal, in a fellow Commonwealth country in Pakistan. So it's been, for me, a rare privilege to observe, this further peaceful transition of power in Pakistan. I think we see at the moment a very important development in the brand new budget that's just been brought down. And once again, we have to see how does this progress. We have to see how the process of structural adjustment of the economy, the further practice of democracy, as I mentioned before. And when one speaks about the practice of democracy, that of course means, how are the parliaments progressing with their practice.
How would you then, in the light of all those controversial points, describe Pakistan to an Australian when you go back?
We would say, keep it going, because that's the pathway for accountability, that's the pathway for building eventually consensus, whether within the federal parliament or indeed across the nation itself in the face of national challenges. So for us, that's a pretty straightforward, albeit shall I say, robust and combative, but that is our style as well.
So you're more optimistic about what has happened, what you have seen in Pakistan in the last 3-4 years?
My optimism is that because we are into now, a longest continuous period, that this understanding is growing as to what is needed in order to function as a successful set of national institutions, that understanding is building.
Your interactions with Pakistan's bureaucracy, with the civil society, what did you see wanting? What is missing in this country of 220 million people?
I think in terms of a key area, once again very, very clearly recognised, it seems to me, is that need for skilling up the population. It's the need for education. There's a huge amount of discourse around the needs of the population to have access to quality education and indeed to training, and that the nation needs to be, as it were, well prepared in order to drive the national economy forward. And the very great need, as in my nation, as across the world also, to empower women so that they are taking up not only their right as citizens of our nations, and under our constitutions recognised as equal citizens, recognised according to all of the international conventions relating to human rights and equality. So these are the messages that we send, that Pakistan is on the move. Pakistan has much of a journey to travel, but Pakistan is definitely addressing and looking to engage constructively with with its region and with the world.
Indeed, and on a lighter note, there was in the last few years, at one point there were at least 7 foreign female ambassadors in Islamabad. And would you say that that was a conscious statement by all these countries to sort of bring indirect pressure on Pakistan or the legislators to be more mindful of the women?
Well, no, I would not, because on an individual level, certainly in the case of my nation, we do not say, aha, you know, that's a good location for women to serve. We are not taking a sort of a gendered approach. We take the approach of who is the best currently individual within our foreign service to serve in country X or country Y. So I think that the important thing is simply that we normalise the participation of women in all walks of life, and that instead of seeing it as a surprise, we simply accept the person.